Today's video is going to be around fixed assets, setting up your fixed asset types, adding a new fixed asset as well. We're going to find that within our fixed asset module over here on the left, and we're going to see our different options we have available here. So we have from creating a new fixed asset to the asset type, adding a service log if it's a vehicle. If our asset is a vehicle that needs to be serviced, we can add them in here, as well as an asset register report. We can track our warranties and view our fixed asset reports. But first we're just going to jump into our utilities, preferences, and fixed assets. And the big things we're going to look at here is where these fixed assets are going to post to which accounts automatically. So by setting up the accounts in here, will post automatically when setting up a fixed asset within this module. So we look where this fixed asset is going to post from. It's going to post from our general assets. We can look at the depreciations for these transactions. So it's going to be our first depreciation. Our fixed asset bank account is going to be our clearing bank. Our fixed asset depreciation asset account is going to be our general depreciation and fixed assets expenses. What we can also look at is our depreciation options below here. This is going to talk about when these depreciations are going to post and how often they're going to post. Is it going to be for every year, every month, every half a year, or is it going to be as well as that, is it going to be every financial year when the calculation starts, or every calendar year? So how often do you want this to post automatically, and when do you want it to start that calculation for posting? You can include the periods of purchases, including or excluding, as well as the disposal periods, including and excluding. So once we've had a look in there and we've set that up how we want it to, we can look in our account list, and we can see where that is set up. So we can see our fixed assets in our clearing bank, as well as our vehicle depreciation list. The moment we want to get money into this account to purchase vehicles, we would usually get that from our bank account being here. So we can see in our chart of accounts tree how this fixed asset works, and what type of fixed assets we can add in here. If we now go back into our fixed asset list, we can look at a fixed asset type. If we open up the list, this is the list for grouping fixed assets together in one group. So if we're going to have general assets, we can have vehicles, we can have machinery, whatever type of asset type or group we'd like to create, we can create that here. So you can go into the list, double click and view that asset, or you can simply go ahead and click new to create a new type of fixed asset type. If we look at creating a new fixed asset off the bat, we can just click fixed asset here, and this will open up the fixed asset card where we will go ahead and enter in our new fixed asset. So all the basic information, date of purchase, when was the fixed asset purchased, we'll say 2010, the purchase price, which will say 100,000, and who was it brought from, what supplier. We'll go ahead and say Opel. We can then look at the department that we want this to go through to. If we want it in our different cost centers within our company, we can select where we want this fixed asset to post to. We're going to say this one, as well as that. Is there a parent asset ID? So you can add that if you choose so, and as well as last test date and next test date if you choose to. If we look at our bottom left hand side here, this is where we can split costs of the asset over different departments if we choose to, and the right hand side here, if we wish to tie these in with certain products. So asset product, the serial number from a product, and a barcode from the product. So if you wish to tie that in, we do it on this side. If we wish to split this fixed asset over different cost centers or departments, that's where we'll do that here. If we now look at our additional information, we can now proceed to fill out all this information. So our insurance info, so we're going to say that's Discovery, whether it has a policy number or not, when is this going to be insured until, we'll say 2024, its warranty information, and we'll say it's a hatch. Now once all that has been filled out, you've added all your additional information, your insurance information, warranties, estimated value, replacement value, the manufacturer and so on. We're going to now have a look at our two different types of depreciations. Our first type of depreciation is going to be our tax value depreciation, and the second value of depreciation is going to be our book value depreciation. That can also be viewed and loaded as a default, these account settings, like we set up in utilities, preferences and fixed assets. That's where we can set up these depreciations, these values, and from what accounts. We can go ahead and change this at any time if we wanted to post from a different account, but again we set this up as a default setting within our preferences. We can now look at the depreciation options that we have. Is there going to be no depreciation, straight line depreciation, or declining balance? With regards to the percentage that you can claim back from a fixed asset, we recommend you contact your accountant for that percentage, as it may differ for different businesses and what year is that. So with regards to that declining balance, what percentage you can claim, please contact your accountant for that. For now we'll leave it at 200%, and we can say over what lifespan is this asset going to be over. So we can go ahead and say 10 years, and the business use is going to be 100% of that. So we can see that'll automatically post the depreciations and its book value depreciations as well for that product. And again, what we can do with the depreciation of this asset, we can take it away from our general depreciation and we can put it against our vehicle depreciations and recalculate that. So now that we've set up our depreciations, again at the top bar you can give an asset code to this product, the fixed asset name, and what type of asset it is, regardless of what field you're in. So once we know we've set it up, we know it's a vehicle, we can give it an asset code. It can be any code you choose. Asset name, and what type of asset is it going to be. Remember, we set up those, or we can set up those asset types. So is it a general asset, car, vehicle, whatever you label it as. Once that's set up, we can go ahead and save that. With that, now we can also do a service log on the vehicle. We can add the asset code to it. If there was one, there's that GTR. We can add a service date. We can add the service provider and the date of the next service, whenever it may be. So the hours, the kilometers, the rep that it's done by. We can add some notes with that. As well as that, we can add warranties and insurances for this product. Double click and it will take you back to the fixed asset card, so you can track your warranties and services. As well as that, you can have a look at your service log within the card that we just set up now. So there you are. That's your fixed assets. That's how to set them up. That's how to set up and view your fixed asset types, as well as that, and to view it from within your accounts list and break them up in your chart of accounts tree. So there you are. Thanks for watching.